What a day. It's been a whirlwind of emotions, leaving me, torn between laughter, tears, and the desire to hide from it all. I woke up today with a sense of inevitability, knowing exactly what today would bring. On one hand, we honor the life and the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., a man who fought for justice, equality, and the very principles that guide us. On the other hand, we witness an inauguration of a president whose administration feels like the embodiment of every one of those principles that we stand against. It's like celebrating a wedding and a breakup at the same time. It's a bit awkward, it's a bit painful, and emotionally draining. As I sat there with my coffee in one hand, wishing it was a whiskey, I couldn't shake the sense of dread today. Today is not just about the transfer of power, it's about the legitimization of an oligarchy that now steps boldly into the light. The curtain's been pulled back, and now what we see is a system built on power, greed, and profit, not on service to the people. Still, there's something about this ceremony, these rituals, that demand a grudging respect. Even as I watch cabinet members file in, each one a reminder of the distance between the people and the power that they hold. I can't deny the gravity of the moment. Not everyone could stomach it, including Michelle Obama and Karen Pence. Can you blame them? If there's ever been a day to say no, no thank you, today was it. Then there are the familiar faces. Obama, the Clintons, the Bush family, seemingly there to lend some semblance of normalcy to the situation that feels anything but normal. What must they be thinking? Perhaps a mixture of grim resolve and a prayer that the snacks at the reception might be well worth it. And this is all happening on the day where we honor Dr. King, a man who devoted his life to fighting for our democracy, equality, justice. I can't help but to think that he'd be rolling in his grave right now. Not at just what's unfolding before us, but at the irony of it all. Yet I know Dr. King would understand the importance of these ceremonies, the necessity of keeping the machinery of government running, even when it feels like it's rolling over us. There's one moment today that really stands out during Trump's speech. His words laced with promises of unity and salvation, yet his actions and history have been anything but unifying. His rhetoric often undermines the very foundation of democracy, pushing us further apart rather than bringing us together. It's a reminder that his presidency has been built on hollow promises, using fear and division to hold his power. His speech was an attempt to whitewash the damage already done, but it only serves to highlight how, deeply fractured we are as a country. As surreal and difficult as today was, it's also a stark reminder that history doesn't always move in a straight line. Sometimes it stumbles, it trips, and in this case, it face plants. But here we are picking ourselves up and figuring out where we go next. Yes, today it feels very heavy, and it's exhausting, it's disheartening, and frankly, it's hard to see a way forward. But, it's crucial that, we remind ourselves of the path ahead. We can't stay down. It's not just an option to check out. It's our responsibility to rise in this moment, no matter how broken we feel. We may not have a government that represents us right now, but it is the moment that we must step in and get involved. This fight won't be easy, and it's not for the faint of heart, but we must engage at every level, whether it's supporting grassroots movements, it's organizing within your own local communities, it's amplifying voices of the underrepresented, or even running for office yourself. Every action in this next 4 years is vital. Each step we take is a thread in the fabric of this government that we want it to serve for the people and not for profit or greed or for corporations. This is a turning point for us. We can't afford to wait for the change to happen. We must make it ourselves. Through exhaustion, frustration, and the uncertainty, we must rise. Dr. King once said, faith is like taking the first step, not even without seeing the whole staircase. Today, that's what we must do. As we watch the inauguration unfolded, it's impossible to ignore the contradictions. Trump swears an oath to uphold the Constitution, yet his words, his actions, and his rhetoric threaten this country's very foundation. His promises hollow, his policies embody hate, and his disregard for the truth and justice is frightening. But through it all, we must keep our focus on what could be and not what is. We must fight for the vision that we see for a better tomorrow. And in that fight, we must also look for common ground that unites us. I believe that we all want the same thing, a better future, a brighter future for us all, even if it's selfish for right now. The challenge is finding that shared vision and resisting the pull of polarization. Today is a reminder of how fractured our country is, yes, but it's also an opportunity for healing and growth. To heal those divisions, we must rise to this challenge, and not just by fighting, but by seeking connection, empathy, and understanding within each other. We cannot afford to just sit back and expect a better tomorrow. We must build it together.